maybe you are richer as a female, or maybe you are older. Handle your marriage with wisdom. Don't impose these things on your spouse.
Yeah.
It will make them feel that everything is from the lens of they are younger, they are not as rich as you are, and that can become a huge problem.
I remember when we first got married.
Yeah.
The lady was like, Shaki, because you're still in the honeymoon phase. Let me now say this because of that. Don't let people project their own bad experiences on you. That someone did not enjoy their marriage or they had issues does not mean that the same thing will be repeated in yours. Say, it's still shocking us. Why are you putting your marriage out there? You're still in the honeymoon phase. And I'm happy to tell you, I'm 4 years into this thing and it's still shocking me. I'm forever shocked.
Hi everyone, welcome to Relationship and Marriage Podcast with the BAs. I am Benjamin-Agbo.
I am Benjamin-Agbo.
Yeah, so this is going to be scriptural based teachings on relationships and marriage, a lot of experiences that we'll be sharing, both from our lives, from the things we've read, from scripture. So I want you to sit back, relax, listen. You're going to have a fun ride with us, okay? So we're going to talk a lot about so many aspects: relationships, what to expect in them, dating process, marriage, even divorce. Will cover the whole spectrum, right? So if you have your questions, just make sure you leave them in the comment sections, okay? And
if this is your first time of watching this podcast, I want to welcome you officially to the Relationship and Marriage Podcast with the BAs. And please, now is the time to subscribe. Share this video with someone. We're going to be releasing episodes from time to time. You want to turn on your notification so that you can be updated every time a new video is out.
Absolutely. Well, this is the delectable Pastor Shea, looking all good and nice.
And this is the Benjamin-Agbo behind the Shea Benjamin-Agbo.
Yes. All right, so we're going to jump in right now, and we're just going to start off this first episode on a very light note.
Yeah.
We're going to ask the first question because ladies first. So, you are now 4 years in marriage.
Yeah.
What has your experience been?
Interesting. And happy wedding anniversary. What's wedding anniversary?
Thank you.
4 years actually went by so fast, and it didn't feel like it. I must say. I remember when we first got married.
Yeah.
The lady was like, Shaki, because you're still in the honeymoon phase. Years into marriage. And let me now say this because of that. Don't let people project their own bad experiences on you. That someone did not enjoy their marriage or they had issues does not mean that the same thing will be repeated in yours. And I've learned not to embrace people's experiences. I would rather allow my life to go in the direction of what the Word of God says. If I do what the Word of God says, I'm going to experience what the Word of God says I will experience. So I know, to an extent, I know what's happening in this person's marriage. This is not just by the way, but I wanted you to know where that ideology came from. Oh, it's because it's still shocking. I remember when we took pictures on the street of New York, Times Square. Say, it's still shocking us. Why are you putting your marriage out there? You're still in the honeymoon phase. And I'm happy to tell you, I'm 4 years into this thing and it's still shocking me. And I'm forever shocked. In fact, play me, baby. Shocked, it's been amazing to be married to you. 4 years felt like 4 days actually. And I'm grateful that God has added to us 2 beautiful children.
Yes.
A beautiful girl and one handsome
man. Look like you.
But it's trying to rub it in my face. And we know that I won't hit me like that. So 4 years, how has it been for you?
All right. So how many hours do you want?
Pastor Ben.
Genesis chapter.
Oh God, no.
It's been amazing. It's been amazing. Reading about marriage, reading about relationships, and living in them is just been a lot to just say, yeah, this works. Yeah, this is true. Yeah, that is true. I have learned what it really means to love beyond just the feelings. I have learned to communicate my love intentionally. I have learned when times were not favorable, and when you had to sacrifice. I've learned to love in those seasons, and I can say I've known what genuine love is. Not just loving someone, seeing the way someone loves you makes you know that actually the love of God is communicated through the love that people show to you. It's just an amazing time. And so we've been through seasons where one person will be at home, one person will be working. We've been through seasons that are just, the housing condition isn't the favorable. So many seasons that we've been. What was constant was that we remained friends.
Yes.
We talked to each other a lot. Yes. What we started while we were dating, always video calling each other when we're not together, we have continued up until today.
Yes.
Whenever we are not together in the house, we always video call each other just to keep that feeling going, and it always feels new, right? Yeah, even when babies came in the scene, I saw how you rose up, with your motherly instinct, you took care of the house and everything was going smoothly. And despite, sometimes you don't have, those African help that you would usually have, we pull through.
Yes,
so in all the ups and downs, I've seen that because of somewhat of our preparation, it didn't have any effect on us. It's like it was absorbed.
Yes.
So the times we studied, the time we prepared, the books we read, I remember how we were reading books.
And then we wish we knew before we got married. Yeah. It helped.
Yeah, even though we were already marriage counselors as single people, when it was time, we had to read together, review books together. Those knowledge helped us in seasons where those situations came our ways.
Yeah.
I remember an instance where, I don't remember what happened, but you had said something and I just laughed and I said, "It's how women talk," because I had learned the difference between gender, right? So instead of taking offense, I already have an idea. Oh yeah, it's just her being a woman.
Yeah.
So it didn't affect me at all. I didn't take offense in it at all. But that incident could have actually led to offense in a lot of people's lives.
Sure.
So the knowledge that we gained while being single and the things we read, they came in handy a lot during this 4 years of marriage.
Yeah.
From being, the euphoric and the honeymoon phase, trying to sustain it as much as you can, to weathering all the other seasons and coming back to this euphoric phase. I can say that it's been a journey worth taking with this amazing bundle of joy.
Oh.
Yes, it's been amazing. So we could be specific on the different journeys during these 4 years, but in all, it's been amazing.
Yeah. If I were to describe my own experience, okay, I know we didn't give this video a title, but let's say maybe 4 things we've learned in 4 years. Episode 1. Here we go. And personally for me, one of the things that these past 4 years has revealed to me in the course of the journey is that no matter how much you know someone while you're dating, while you're together, the proximity of marriage begins to reveal some level of strength and some level of weaknesses. Yeah. There are things that I did not even know about myself until I got married, that my husband started observing about me. He said, "Do you know you do this? Do you know you actually like this?" and all of that. And, I believe that marriage is a school where God actually develops you in character, because it reveals your flaws, it reveals your strength, not just your strength, even your weaknesses, and it's a chance for you to become better in character, better in how you live your life. So there are things that my husband did not even know about himself. That it was until we got married, started living together, that those things started becoming obvious. And instead of getting angry, and thank God for the preparation, like you said, instead of getting angry, "Do you know you do this? Do you know you do that?" There's a way preparation arms your mind to know what to do in every situation. Yep. We've weathered different storms. We've weathered different seasons. Like you said, one of the things that have been constant in our marriage is our friendship. Oh my God, I love all the belly laughs, all the inside jokes. Just feel there. Let's just leave that. But in all, it's been so beautiful. If I'm gonna do this, I'll do it again with you.
Oh, I guess so. One session. To you, Pastor Shay.
Yeah. It's been amazing. That's part of our weaknesses, being exposed to each other, and we've been willing to become better and not excuse it away. Yeah. And one of the things I like about us, if you've noticed that something is a strength in me, you allow me handle that aspect of our marriage.
Yeah.
If I notice something is a strength in you, I allow. Although you don't like that.
So strength is not in few forms. Few forms, and I'm telling you, my strength is in
The one of this episode, we should talk about some of these things. I hate feeling home, but I mean, it doesn't have a choice because you're stuck with me for life.
Think about all the forms. Detail application. Just think about all the forms.
You have the idea. Like sometimes I just give him moral support and I'm like, how can I help? And I know that I don't have any help to offer. And just diss me. That's the help you can give me. And honestly, it's beautiful. Learning to embrace each other's weaknesses without forcing you to be a different person.
Yeah.
I know that change is possible. I know without also forcing me to, be a different person. Throw some secrets out there. There are some things I still don't like to do 4 years into marriage, and we don't force each other to be who we are not. We encourage each other to be better instead. There's this aspect of like, I think you can work on this, babe. I think you can do this better, which I believe is going well.
Absolutely. In this podcast, we're going to be very raw and very open because we want people to see what goes on behind the scenes, not just in the life of a couple, but in the life of a couple that we are good pastors.
Yeah.
So one of the things that became a shock at the beginning of our marriage was that although I had been into teaching, I led fellowships here and there, I've been a president of a fellowship here and there, I got married when she was already a pastor.
Yeah.
I was just a brother, brother in the Lord, got married to a pastor. And then there were things that I started to notice. What I started to notice was people would say, "Hi, Pastor Shea and Benjamin." "Ah, Pastor Shea and Benjamin." And when people wanted to, let me just say this, I started noticing it. When people wanted to recognize the family, they'll say, "Pastor Shea
and
your family." And then as a human, my ears were doing okay. I remember one that someone wanted to give a seed money. It was like the first month of marriage, and the person came, a male came, and then took the money and went to meet Pastor Shea and said, "Pastor Ma." I was just there. I was like,
okay.
God, brother, it's becoming obvious. Now, I was saying these things, and if I was not careful, this would have been the seed that would have led to me taking offense in her office. I would have taken offense in why are they putting her name first? Most of the things they'll put her name first, Pastor Shea and Benjamin, Pastor Shea, and I was like, I had to tell myself that is our office and it's okay. Wouldn't allow self to show up that, hey, that's the goal, let it be the goal. And I remember when, as a brother, we got married, and I would start to say, okay, the ministry that she had run before, she was running, I was introduced to the ministry as her husband. Some people just welcomed me as the pastor's husband. They didn't believe I know how to teach anything. They didn't believe in the office, or they didn't believe in anything that I could say anything.
Yeah. I remember.
Can you believe that? Me!
Pastor Ben.
They didn't know me, right? So you could just see how they were looking at me with their eyes like, what do you want to say? Are you not just here because you are married to our pastor? I was not ordained a pastor.
As at then.
And so I had to fight that mindset that, number one, you're not qualified for this stage. You're not qualified. You're just here because of the title. I had to fight that. I said, no, God has been preparing me for this stage. God has been preparing me for this day. And I had to tell myself that God will eventually allow what He has placed on the inside of me to show forth to the people without me trying to show that I know so much. Like, look, let me teach things that it will be hard to understand, so that they will say, oh, the mighty man that has the revelations. I didn't do that. I didn't force anything. I just was, whenever there's an opportunity to teach, I taught as I knew how to, and I just left it at that. God helped me overcome that feeling of, I don't know what to call it, that feeling of, why is she the only one? Why is she the only one? I just embraced that she is my wife, but she is a pastor. She is my wife. She is a pastor. Now I have to respect the office that she has as a pastor for me to receive the dividends of that office. Like I said, we're going to be plain to you and just show you our lives.
Before you move away from what you were saying, I wanted to add this. There was a time a lady asked me a question and was like, how was your husband able to blend into the ministry in a way that he didn't like try to impose himself? And I felt like, in fact, it was thought provoking for me, because I had to like think backwards to how he actually did it. Not many people would have been comfortable to marry someone like me.
Yeah.
I was already working in my calling. He was still in a season of preparation as at the time we got married. Now he's in a season of manifestation. And I know that this is where God is taking both of us. It's way beyond what anyone has seen or can see right now. So, but in that season, it was a little more, a bit different in the sense that I was already an ordained pastor. I was already doing ministry, having different expressions. I was a little known. Let me just put it like that. And he was just a random guy. Oh, who is this guy? Who is this person marrying our pastor? No. So I was like, one of the things I appreciated about him was there was no sense of insecurity. He didn't feel that because I was a pastor, I was already ahead in my calling, that he was backward or he was behind. He understood season, he was not insecure. Then number two, I had to start applying wisdom. People sometimes come out of sheer ignorance. They don't know this is right now. Imagine both of us are sitting and then you first acknowledge me because I'm a pastor, and then you just can't always be a man. It's human. There is ego. And thank God for the kind of man you are, because of the fruit of the Spirit and your dealing, your work with God.
Yeah.
You didn't take those things personally. You didn't allow the devil amplify those thoughts in your heart to a point where you start feeling. And look at us today. We didn't even know that. We knew that God would have us do something together. We didn't even know about the vision of the lighthouse. Now you're the one champion. Most of the expression of the ministry I started now. In fact, they defer to him more. I respect him more. They see him more. There is request for his counsel, his prayers, So those things, he didn't impose himself on the people. He was just able to integrate and earn their respect. And how did you do it? It really very interesting.
I didn't do anything special. I just did not allow that thought to grow in my heart that why did he referring to her? I said she's a pastor. She deserves that because that's the office that she occupies. I also need to learn to respect that office, to be a recipient from that office also. So people are recognizing that office. I should be happy that they are recognizing that office. Now when they are dealing with her from the standpoint of that office, I should step aside and allow them to deal with her from that office. Now, when we are at home, obviously I don't call her as to share.
The wife.
If she's the wife, I can squeeze her nose and just remind myself, yeah, the pastor.
Married, yeah. He used to feel himself alone.
I'll just say, yeah, I'm the one that married you. Yeah. I'm a big fisherman. Even a big fish, but hey, I'm a big fisherman.
Pastor to everyone, wife to one.
Wife to one. So when people are recognizing her office, I should be happy. I have had to mentally convince myself to not be insecure that she is having an office that I don't have. And that's the truth. I didn't have at that time. So I had to let that go. And when people deferred to her or people didn't, I just knew it was a matter of time. I knew that what I had in me would eventually show forth.
Yeah.
I didn't need to rush or try to impress anyone. I will teach when there's an opportunity to teach as best as I know how to teach. I will give people counsel. I will lead prayers. And while things were happening, people were getting miracles. Word of knowledge was coming. People were listening and were like, okay, this guy has something to say. So they started paying closer attention. And to the glory of God, I could feel it for her, for some of her programs, and it was equally great, and all of those things. And now we stand side by side, in all the expression that God has called us to do. And so, glory to God, that's a phase we've weathered that could have been a wrong seed sown at the very beginning
of our marriage. Yeah.
And I think that was very important.
Some people don't come out of that.
Yeah.
Some men eventually, because of that, they shut down their wife's calling. Yeah. They feel, the reason you're pompous, the reason you're this is because people appreciate you. So because of that, a lot of women's calling have been shut down.
Yeah.
Because of insecurity. And that's why having the fruit of the spirit, having a relationship with it really matters. Because that like you said, it's a wrong seed that could have been sown at the beginning of our marriage. And then, I will not be afraid to, be the woman God has called me to be, because I'll be feeling, what will my husband be thinking? How will he be feeling? Will he feel, so
it could have been that she was in ministry or the pastor I wasn't at that time.
yeah.
Or maybe it could be that the woman or the other partner is richer.
Yeah.
And it could be that the other partner has more degrees or even older.
Yeah.
That could be a reason. And if someone defers to them, Satan can use that difference as, is it because she's older? Is it because she has more money? And that seed could have been sown. There's a wrong seed at the foundation, that everything that he does, he's viewing it from the lens of, because she's richer. That's why she didn't cook for me this evening. Because she's richer. Yeah. That's why she didn't. You get my point? And it could be that she's just being herself, but that wrong introduction could lead to catastrophe on the long run. And so I want to say this: please learn to deal with everything at the foundations before it festers and it grows. There are things that if you leave it with time, foundations with time becomes hidden. You can't see them anymore. And the effect will remain permanent. And so I'm glad that helps. Honestly speaking, what helped me was just having, the fruits of the spirit, being willing to just be selfless and say, yeah, if they defer to her, it's fine. And she was wise. She was wise. I remember when they gave her the seed, like I was trying to say, when the person left, she gave it to me. I was like, I'm the head of this. She was wise. Imagine she had said, no, they gave it to pastor, right? Are you a pastor? You're not a pastor. And then I'm trying to be selfless and all, but then it starts to get to me, because I thought that we are a team, and I thought that, hey, the other one is the head of the whole thing. And so she was wise to handle that very well. So I want to say this also: maybe you're richer as a female, or maybe you're older. Handle your marriage with wisdom. Don't impose these things on your spouse. It will make them feel that everything is from the lens of they are younger, they are not as rich as you are, and that can become a huge problem. All right. So, having said that about our marriage at first, there are other things that we've weathered during these 4 years of marriage. Let me see.
Next episode.
Okay, let's talk in the next episode.
See you guys.